Hello students, how are you all? Welcome to Tungal online classes. I hope you are all fine and doing good. As you know that your PUC exams were cancelled, everybody will be happy. But CET, NEET and mains exams like objective exams, there is no chance to cancel these exams. That's why today onwards you need to prepare for these objective examinations, and there is a good opportunity to cover your first year as well as second year syllabus in this pandemic situation. So that's why your syllabus are divided into 10 parts in the CET point of view. So among these 10 parts, 3 parts belong to first year and 7 parts belong to second year syllabus, because in CET the second year weightage is very high. So part test 1, in each part test will provide you 120 bits as assignment. So in the part test 1, the first year chapters given are: first one, some basic concepts of chemistry, structure of atom, periodic table, chemical bonding and hydrogen. Before going to bits, students, I'll make you remember these concepts briefly first of all. So that's why in this session I would like to discuss basic concepts of chemistry and few concepts, followed by the bits. Few bits I will discuss, which are from our given assignment, right? So let us start our first class with the first assignment, basic concepts of chemistry. So in this chapter, we have to study about matter. As you know that definition of chemistry, the science which deals with the matter, nothing but properties of matter, physical chemical properties, physical chemical changes, transformations, energy transformations of matter, called chemistry simply. The science which deals with the study of physical chemical properties of matter and physical chemical changes of matter, energy transformation of matter, everything is nothing but a matter. What is meant by matter? So anything that has a mass and occupied space called matter. The pen, duster, chalk. So all under matter only. So classification of matter we know already, physical classification as well as a chemical classification. Matter physically classified into 3 categories: solid state, liquid state, gaseous state, and last one is plasma. So these 3 states you know already. I will discuss in this session very briefly, and I will make you remember all these concepts. Getting it's difficult to discuss all the concepts in this video before solving bits. That's why just briefly I will recall all those. Now, chemical classification. Chemically, matter is classified into 2 types: pure substances and mixtures. Pure substances, if you observe any pure substance, it's a variety of matter in which all the samples have same composition. If you take water, sea water H2O, salt water H2O, river water H2O, wherever you observe, the composition of water will be fixed. Such compounds are called, what are they? Pure substances, like elements copper, silver. Their composition will be fixed. Glucose, 6 carbons, 12 hydrogens, 6 oxygens, everywhere fixed composition. So these are examples like metals, copper, silver, gold, glucose, water. These are all under pure substances. Pure substances classified into 2 types. One is element, another one is compound. Element is a pure substance which cannot be divided into simpler parts and which has a specific position in the periodic table and a particular atomic number and particular atomic mass. such substance called an element. So elements are metals and non-metals, as you know that. So metal, non-metal properties, metalloid properties we well know. After that, compounds. Compounds are formed by combination of two or more different elements in fixed proportion by mass. Best example, water. If you observe water, H2O. So H2O. Fixed proportion. Hydrogen's 2 grams of hydrogen. Oxygen will be 16. Totally 80. Correct? And percentage of hydrogen is equal to 2 by total into 100. Percentage of oxygen is equal to 16 by total into 100. It means the percentage of hydrogen will be fixed in water. Water is the compound which is formed by hydrogen and oxygen in fixed proportion by mass. These are called compounds. Compounds are classified into two types: homogeneous compounds, heterogeneous compounds. Homo means the composition is uniform throughout the compounds are classified into two types: organic compounds and inorganic compounds. Carbon and their compounds are organic, except carbon and their derivatives remaining all are inorganic compounds, right? Next one is mixtures, students. Next one, mixtures. Mixture is a substance which is made up of two or more chemical substances. Those may be elements and elements, different elements, otherwise elements and compounds, otherwise compounds and compounds, whatever it may be. Element, element compound or compound, compound, in any proportion. It is fixed proportion. Compound is in fixed proportion. Element and mixture will be in any proportion by mass. It can be mixed, then forms a mixture. Right? This is about mixture. Mixtures are classified into two types: homogeneous mixtures, heterogeneous mixtures. Homo means same composition. Hetero means different composition. Right? This is the simplified classification of matter, right? After this, yeah, system of units given in the syllabus for us. There are many systems. So as per SI system, we are following units actually. So mass, kilograms, time, second, length, meters, many are there, you just follow. And prefixes are there. 10 is there, deca. 10 to the power of minus 1 is there, deci. 10 to the power of minus 2 is there, centi, milli, micro, nano, femto. Many are there, you just follow. 100 is there. So centi means 0.1. 100 is there, that is hecto, kilo, mega, giga, tera, peta, teta, zeta. Many are there. You have to remember all those prefixes, right? So after these prefixes, we should study few formulas and their units especially. Students, we need few formulas and their units as per SI system. It's very, very important for CET especially. So first one is area. Area is equal to length into breadth. It means meter into meter, that is equal to meter square, also called square meter formula. Next, volume. Height into length into breadth. Height meter, length also meter, breadth also meter, hence it is cubic meter or meter cube unit. Density is very, very important, students. That is, mass will be kilograms, volume will be meter cube, we just discussed. Very, very important. Kg per meter cube. Speed, distance covered by unit time, that is, distance is meters seconds. It means meter per second for speed. Acceleration, change in velocity per time. Velocity is nothing but a speed. Speed units are meter second inverse by time is second. Then you will get again meter second power minus 2. Right? Next, after this, force, mass into, acceleration. Mass is, SI unit of mass is kilogram. Acceleration units are meter second power minus 2. Right? This is a force. This is simply taken as Newton. Very, very important. Kg meter second power minus 2 is equal to 1 Newton. Next, pressure. Pressure is force per unit area. Force units are kg meter second power minus 2 by area will be meter square. Then what is left here? Kg meter inverse second power minus 2. Square meter cancelled, meter shifted to numerator. Right? Then, so we'll get meter inverse. Right? And this, in place of this, you can also say it is Newton per meter square. Newton per meter square is called 1 Pascal. Newton per meter square called Pascal. Getting, students? Yes. Next, last one, energy. Energy formula is force into distance or displacement. So force formula, force units are kg, it is nothing but Newton, force unit. Distance is meters, Newton meter, nothing but. So it is also taken as 1 Newton is equal to kg, 1 Newton is equal to kg meter second power minus 2 into distance is meter. So kg meter into meter, meter square second power minus 2. Getting? This is equal to 1 joule. These are units of energy, SI units of energy. Very, very important. Next, after this, so volume, everything completed. Now, temperature. Temperature units also very, very important. Okay, students, temperature, it's a measure of heat, nothing but the amount of heat in particular matter called heat. The amount of heat present in a matter called temperature. Temperature measured in 3 scales. First one degree Celsius, Kelvins. Third one is degree Fahrenheit. Kelvin is the SI unit. So degree Celsius converted into Kelvins by Kelvin is equal to 273 plus degree Celsius. It means 25 degrees Celsius is equal to 25 degrees Celsius is equal to how many Kelvins? Then we can ask such questions. So 273 plus 25 degrees Celsius, that is equal to 298 Kelvins. 25 degrees Celsius is equal to 298 Kelvins. Right? Similarly, degree Fahrenheit scale. Degree Fahrenheit is equal to 9 by 5 into degree Celsius plus 32. Right, students? Degree Celsius is equal to 5 by 9 into degree Fahrenheit minus 32. Right? So these are the formulas to convert. Yes. 77 degree Fahrenheit is equal to 77 degree Fahrenheit is equal to how many degrees Celsius? Such questions are possible. Then degree Celsius is equal to 5 by 9. We want degree Celsius, that's why second formula is the valid formula. Into degree Fahrenheit, 77 minus 32. Solve this, you'll get the answer. That will be in degree Celsius. So then answer will be 25 degrees Celsius. It is 25 degrees Celsius. It means 77 degree Fahrenheit is equal to 25 degree Celsius, right? So similarly, degree Fahrenheit, 77 degree Fahrenheit equal to these many degrees Celsius. 25 degrees Celsius is equal to how many degree Fahrenheit? In place of degree Celsius, put 25, then you get. These formulas are very, very important. Next. After that, the scientific notation. In chemistry, we are using sometimes extremely large numbers, sometimes extremely small numbers. Difficult to solve problems. Hence, those values must be represented in scientific notation. Scientific notation, any number should be written in scientific notation, n into 10 to the power of n I am taking. Yes, this capital N value must be 1 to 9. It is right, and this 10 to the n may be positive or negative. Any value must be represented in this manner. So this n value must be ranging from 1 to 9.9. For example, 0.0067 is there. Scientific notation will be 6.7 into 10 to the power of minus 2. Right? So in scientific notation, additions, subtractions, multiplication, divisions are there. You just follow, and well known already these are. After that, accuracy and precise. These have great significance. Okay, students, they will provide you data like this in the CET point of view, and they will ask which one is, which of the following statement is correct, like that. First one is, for this experiment, experimental value is 2.00. Experimental value. So one experiment done by 3 students, student A, student B, student C, and they have taken readings 2 times. Student A 2 readings, B 2 readings, C 2 readings, and the average readings of students A, B, C, right? So which result? The result is like that they are asking. First one is precise. Precise meaning is closeness of a particular value with the experimental value. Close. The value is very close to experimental result. Accuracy. Accuracy is nothing but it's an agreement. The agreement of a particular value to the original value. It means almost equal to experimental value. Closeness is precise. 100% accurate is nothing but very equal to which one? Experimental value. Student A result 1.9593 and it is average is 1.940. Experimental value is 2.0. These two readings are very close, but this is not equal to experimental value and not close to experimental value also. So that's why these readings are precise to each other, but the result is not accurate, not precise. Next, these two readings are not close and this is also not equal to 2. That's why the result will be neither precise nor accurate. And these two readings are very close, precise, and this is equal to experimental value and the result will be accurate. It means student C result will be precise and accurate. Such questions they are expecting, right? After that, significant figures are there. Many rules are there, students. You verify once rules, all rules, it's very difficult. All non-zero digits are significant. The non-zero digits after the decimal point will be significant. Zeros between the non-zero digits are significant. For example, 505. How many significant figures? Three significant figures. In 505, even 0 also significant because it is in between the non-zero digits. So like that, very few rules are there. You just follow rules to find significant figures. It's very easy for us. Next, after that, laws of chemical combination. Laws of chemical combination. So the first law is law of conservation of mass. It means reactant mass is equal to product mass. The mass of reactant is equal to mass of products. That is called law of conservation of mass. So now AgNaCl plus AgNO3 gives rise to AgCl, Ag and Cl, Na and NO3 removed as a Na. Right, students? These two mass is equal to these two. It means mass of reactants is equal to mass of product. This law is only applicable to normal reactions like exothermic, endothermic, normal reactions, but not for nuclear reactions. So it is not applicable to which one, that is nuclear reactions. Nuclear reactions. Nuclear reactions means there is a change in their mass because of the division of nucleus. Hence, it is not applicable to nuclear reactions. Next, law of definite proportions. So, whatever the method that is to prepare a compound, for example, H2O, prepared by laboratory, prepared from electrolysis, prepared from seawater, or wherever the source that is, H2O contains 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen. It means composition is fixed. In whatever the method the compound prepared, the composition of elements in a compound will be fixed. This is called law of definite proportions. Law of multiple proportions next. Multiple proportion means, for example, nitrogen combined with oxygen then gives rise to N2. Nitrogen combined with 2 moles of oxygen then gives rise to N2O4. Getting, students? Observe. N2, nitrogen mass is fixed in these two compounds, but oxygen mass will be varied. Here 1 oxygen, here 4 oxygens. It means the mass of an element combined with the fixed mass of another element will be in the simple whole number ratio. This law called law of multiple proportions. It means the mass of oxygen combined with the fixed mass of nitrogen will be in the simple whole number ratio. Getting, students? This is law of multiple proportion. After that, Gay-Lussac's law of volume. Gay-Lussac's law. It means under similar conditions and similar conditions like similar temperature and pressure, so equal volumes of gases occupies equal number of moles. It means the volume of gaseous reactants and products are in the simple whole number ratio. Under identical conditions, the volumes of reactants and products are in the simple whole number ratio. That is called Gay-Lussac's volume. After that, last one, Avogadro's law or Avogadro's hypothesis. According to this law, equal volumes of gases occupies equal number of molecules. This is the law. Right, students? Next. After that, mole concept given. Mole concept, before going to the mole concept, it's very, very important. So what is AMU and what is 1 mole? 1 mole equal to how many liters? We'll check now. Okay, students, 1 AMU is equal to 1 by 12th of the mass of 1 carbon atom. That is called 1 AMU. When it is calculated, 1 AMU equal to 1.66056 into 10 to the power of minus 27 kgs, otherwise minus 24 grams. This value is very, very important. Relative atomic mass is equal to percentage abundance into atomic mass by 100. We'll observe problems in this session, students, on this formula. Next, 1 mole equal to number of carbon particles present in 12 grams of C12 isotope called Avogadro number, that is called mole, 1 mole. So 1 mole equal to 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23, that is equal to those many number of carbon atoms present in 12 grams of sample of carbon, right? 1 mole of any gas occupy 22.4 liters of volume. 1 mole of any substance contains these many number of particles. Those may be atoms, ions or molecules. 1 mole of molecule's mass is gram molecular mass. 1 mole of atom's mass called gram atomic mass. 1 mole of gas volume called gram molar volume. Getting? These points are very, very important in the mole concepts point of view. So to answer your CET questions, these points are good enough. You just verify your notes and no need to by heart especially. So because we are writing objective exams, need to remember formulas and apply the formula to the given bit. Next topic is limiting reagent. Very, very important, students. Limiting reagent. Limiting reagent. Limiting reagent means the reagent which consumed first in the reaction mixture called limiting reagent. For example, A plus B gives rise to C. These two are reactants. If A consumed first, then only A decides the rate of reaction. So which is consumed first, that is called limiting reagent. If A consumed first, that is limiting reagent. Opposite one is excess reagent because it has more amount, it is not consumed, after that only consumed, hence it is excess reagent. Right? For example, A plus B gives rise to C. This is the equation. 2 moles of A and 3 moles of B given. 3 moles of B given. Which is limiting reagent and what is the amount of product formed? We will see now. So it is question, students, how to solve this solution. This is the question. A plus B gives rise to C. 2 moles of A and 3 moles of 2 moles of A and 3 moles of B consumed. Then what is the amount of C formed? Such questions. So given equation is A plus B gives rise to C. Stoichiometric coefficient. Stoichiometric coefficient means 1 mole. It is also 1 mole. 1 1. Given moles. In question 2 moles of A, 3 moles of B given. Right? So given moles by stoichiometric coefficient, shortcut I am telling. Given moles 2 by 1, stoichiometric 3 by 1. Given moles 2, stoichiometric coefficient 1. Given moles 3, stoichiometric coefficient 1. So you will get 2 here, 3 it is. So for A 2, for B 3, which is a smaller value, this is smaller. Hence it is a limiting reagent. A is a limiting reagent. So the product formation decides limiting reagent only, but not others. It means 1 mole of A forms 1 mole of C. If 2 moles given in the question, students, then 2 moles of A forms how many moles of C? Then 2 into 1 by 1, then 2 moles of C formed. Right, students? So this is about a limiting reagent, few problems we will discuss. After this, empirical formula, molecular formula, we well known about all these empirical formula and molecular formula problems, and very easy. I'll discuss bits now in this session only. After that, stoichiometric calculation, very simple calculations they are expecting, students. Stoichiometric calculation, one question: number of moles of CO2 formed when 2 moles of methane on combustion is such kind of questions they will ask, options they will provide, how to solve simple questions. So these are named as stoichiometric calculations. It means we should know the stoichiometric equation. Methane on combustion gives CO2 plus H2. Correct? 4 hydrogens, 2 H2O. So 2O2, balanced equation it is. Getting, students? So it is 1 mole. For 1 mole of methane forms 1 mole of, what is that? 1 mole of CO2. Getting, students? Right. Then how many moles of methane given in the question? 2 moles given. For 2 moles of methane, how many moles of carbon dioxide formed? Such questions they are asking. So in that case, how to solve? 2 into 1 by 1. Then 2 moles of CO2 formed. Getting? While solving such kind of questions, you have to write the balanced equation, then answer will be very, very easy for us. The last concept in this given is percentage composition. For example, what is the percentage composition of hydrogen in water? Such questions, simple questions. Percentage of hydrogen in water. Hydrogen in water is, simple questions they are asking, students. Options they will provide you, how to calculate. First of all, water contains 2 hydrogens, each hydrogen mass is 1, 2 hydrogen mass is 2 grams. So oxygen mass is 18. Total water mass, oxygen mass 16, total water mass is 18. Percentage of hydrogen is equal to, it is nothing but a mass percentage of hydrogen is equal to, what is that? Mass of hydrogen by mass of water. Water is nothing but a compound into 100. Mass of hydrogen 2 grams. Mass of water 18 grams into 100. Similarly, mass percentage of oxygen is mass of oxygen by mass of water into 100. Getting, students? Mass of oxygen is 16 by 18 into 100. Then you get answer. Right? Very easy. The last topic in this chapter is concentration expression method. First one, molarity, number of moles per liter solution. We know, we read in the second year course. Molality, number of moles of solute present in 1 kg of solvent. Next, mole fraction. It is a ratio between number of moles of one component to the total number of moles. Right, students? These are the concentration expression methods. You just revise once all the formulas, that is sufficient, no need to by hand. Let us discuss few bits in our first assignment. which are related to basic concepts of chemistry. Tomorrow we'll start the next chapter. Okay, students, let us discuss about bits from first chapter, basic concepts of chemistry. Now, in that assignment, there are 30 bits given for basic concepts of chemistry. I'll discuss a few from those 30, first 30. Yeah, first one. 5.041 has how many significant figures? So the zero between non-zero digits also significant. There was a rule actually. So 1, 2, 3, 4 significant figures in 5.041. Hence option D correct, students. Next, bit number 3. Law of conservation of mass. Law of conservation of mass holds good for all the following except law of conservation of mass is applicable for all the reactions, chemical reactions, exothermic, endothermic, but not for nuclear reaction because there is a change in mass by nuclear fission and nuclear fusion. Hence, answer will be, so it's not holds good for nuclear reaction, option B correct. Next, boron has two isotopes, B10 and B11, whose abundance are 20% and 80%. So what is the atomic weight of boron is? In such cases, formula given, students, so that is atomic mass is equal to sum of the percentage of abundance by 100 into relative atomic mass. So formula is, solution for this, the formula will be atomic mass is equal to sum of the percentage of abundance by 100 into atomic mass or relative atomic mass. So atomic mass, it is relative atomic mass, right, students? So formula will be, first one, percentage of abundance of first one is 20%. 20 by 100 into atomic weight of first one is 10, that is 10 plus sum of the symbol given, that's why. Next, second one abundance is 80 by 100 into, so second one mass will be 11 given there clearly. Once you solve this, you'll get answer 10.8, students. You check the calculation once. So answer option D correct. Okay, students, next bit. The mass of 112 cubic centimeter methane at STP is. It is a stoichiometric calculation. That's why we need stoichiometric equation. So methane CO2, simply without equation also we can solve this. Generally 16 grams, 1 mole of methane mass is 16 grams, carbon 12, 4 hydrogens 4 at STP. 1 mole of any gas occupies 22.4 liters. 1 mole of methane CH4, it is nothing but 16 grams. 16 grams of CH4 occupies 22.4 liters. 22.4 liters means 2 to 400 ml of methane. Understood this step first of all? As per mole concept, 1 mole of methane that weighs 16 grams of methane occupy 2 to 400 milliliters of volume. So 112 centimeter cube, 1 cubic centimeter is equal to 1 milliliter. It means 112 cubic centimeter meaning is 112 milliliter of methane weighs how many grams? Cross multiplication, students. 112 into 16 by 2 to 400. Once you solve, you'll get answer. Answer will be option B, 0.08 grams of methane present in 112 centimeter cube of methane. Right. Option B correct. Question number 8. Empirical formula of compound is CH2. Its molecular mass is 42. Its molecular formula is. So as we know the formula, molecular formula is equal to empirical formula into N. It is the formula. So N we should calculate first. N is equal to empirical formula, otherwise molecular mass by empirical formula mass. Molecular mass 42 given by empirical formula is CH2, that is carbon 12 grams, 2 hydrogens 2 grams, 12 plus 2 14 grams. Empirical formula mass is 14, students. So 14 by 42 by 14, that is 3. Then molecular formula is equal to, what is empirical formula? CH2 into 3, N is equal to C1 into 3, that is equal to C3. C2 into 3, that is equal to H6. C3H6 is the right answer for this question. Okay, students, next bit. Number of atoms in 0.004 grams of magnesium will be. How many atoms? 1 mole of magnesium, 1 mole Mg, it weighs 24 grams. We know already magnesium atomic mass 24 grams of magnesium contains 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 magnesium atoms. Understood this step, all of you? 1 mole Avogadro number of magnesium mass will be 24 grams, contains Avogadro number. But for us, 0.004 grams of magnesium contains how many magnesium atoms? That is the question, students. Then 0.004 into 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23 by 24 grams, right? It will be taken as 4 into 10 to the power of minus 3. 4, 6 times. This 6 and 6 will be cancelled. So here the left is 10 to the power of minus 3. It is 10 to the power of 23. Becomes 10 to the power of 20. Atoms present in 0.004 grams of magnesium. So 10 to the power of 20. Option C correct for this question. Next, 14th bit. Hemoglobin contains 0.3% by weight of iron. If one molecule of hemoglobin contains 2 iron atoms, one molecule contains 2 iron atoms, the molecular weight of hemoglobin will be, that is the question. So 0.33% by weight, meaning is this much of iron present in 100 grams of hemoglobin. That is the meaning. 0.33 grams of iron present in 100 grams of hemoglobin. This is the meaning, students. 100 grams of hemoglobin. 1% by mass, in the sense 1 gram of substance present in 100 grams of total substance. 0.33% by mass, in the sense 0.33 grams of iron present in 100 grams of hemoglobin. Then 2 atoms given. 2 atoms means 2 into iron atomic mass already mentioned, that is 56 grams. If 2 not mentioned, 56 grams of iron contains how many grams of hemoglobin? They mentioned 2 iron atoms. That's why 2 into 56 grams of iron present in how many grams of hemoglobin? That's what question. Cross multiplication, students. 2 into 56. 2 into 56 into 100, right, by how much? 0.33. Once you solve, you'll get around 33,979, etc. Roughly the value is 34,000 grams of hemoglobin present in 0.33 percentage by weight. Okay, option B correct for this question. Okay, students, next bit we'll discuss that is 70. The percentage of hydrogen in water and hydrogen peroxide is 11.2 percentage and 5.94 percentage. This law illustrates. It means the hydrogen percentage is in the simple whole number ratio, but oxygen percentage is fixed. Such a law called law of multiple proportion. It means when a compound formed by the combination of a fixed amount of an element, the another element mass will be in the simple whole number ratio, that is called law of multiple proportion. It means hydrogen percentage is variable, but oxygen percentage will be fixed. Next, number of electrons in 1.8 grams of water. 1.8 grams of water. First of all, 18 grams is nothing but 1 mole. Right, students? So, water contains H2O. In hydrogen, 1 electron. There are 2 hydrogens, 2 electrons. In oxygen, 8 electrons, nothing but atomic number 8, hence 8 electrons. So, totally 2 plus 8, 10 electrons. 1 H2O contains 10 electrons. 1 mole of H2O contains 10 moles of electrons. Now, let 1 mole of H2O is nothing but 18 grams. We know already 2 hydrogens 2 grams, 1 oxygen 16, totally 18 grams. 18 grams of water contains 2 plus 8, totally 10 moles. 10 moles means 10 into Avogadro number of electrons. Getting, students? 1 mole of water contains 10 moles of electrons. Right. For us, 1.8 grams scale. 1.8 grams of H2O contains how much? It means 10 times decreased. 10 becomes 1. Answer will be 6.022 into 10 to the power of 23. This is answer. These many electrons present in 1.8 grams of water. Option A correct to this question, students. Right. Next, 200 degree Fahrenheit is equal to how many degrees Celsius? So already formula given, degree Celsius is equal to 5 by 9 into degree Fahrenheit minus 32. This is the question formula. So now 5 by 9 into 200 minus 32. Degree Fahrenheit given is 200. 200 minus 32. Once you solve, you'll get 93.3 degrees Celsius. Getting, students? Okay, students, next bit. If 500 ml of 5 molar solution is diluted to 1500 ml, what will be the molarity of the resulting solution? It's a dilution condition. Before dilution is equal to after dilution. Formula will be M1V1 is equal to M2V2, right? Take down. M1 V1 is equal to M2 V2 formula. M1 5 molar, V1 500 ml first, it is equal to M2 is your question students. V2 volume will be 1500 ml, right? Where M2 is equal to formula is 5 into 500, 2500 by, so 1500 is, then it will be cancelled around 1.66. Answer will be option B correct students, right? Next, big number 24. 1 gram of magnesium reacts to 0.28 grams of oxygen. So which reactant will be left and how much left? That's the question. So it is a limiting reagent question. That's why first of all write the stoichiometric calculation. Yes. So that is Mg plus O2 gives rise to MgO, it is students. So to balance 2Mg, 2MgO it is balancing, right? Magnesium mass is 24 grams. 2 magnesiums are there. 2 24s 48 grams. 48 grams. O2 will be 32 grams, right? For 48, 32 grams of oxygen is required. For 1 gram, how much required that is must be calculated, right? It means 32 by 48. You should calculate. So once you solve, you will get the required one. So that is 32 by 48. You get 0.6. 0.66. But the given is 0.28 only in the question. Oxygen required is 0.66. But the given is 0.28. Given only less, that's why it is a limiting reagent. Oxygen is limiting reagent, students. And magnesium is excess reagent. Getting students? This is, yes, excess reagent. Now calculate. For 48, 32 grams of oxygen, it is magnesium 48. So for us in the question 0.28 grams of oxygen, how much required? Calculate. 0.28 into 44 by 32. 0.28 into 44 by 32. So once you calculate it, then you will get 0.385. 0.385. You get 0.38. Okay. Grams of magnesium consumed. But total given is how many grams? 1 gram. Given is 1 gram. But consumed is only 0.38 and left will be 1 minus 0.38. Left is equal to 1 minus 0.38. Then we will get a rough value very close. Option B correct students, right? Actually this value 0.42 you will get, the value will be 0.58. Option B correct it is. Here calculations check one students. Here I wrote this one, but 0.28 into 48 by 32 it is correct. But here you will get 0.42 grams consumed. Total given is 1. Left will be 1 minus 0.42. Then you will get 0.58 grams left by magnesium. Okay students, next bit. Bit number 28. How many ions per molecule in solution of Morse salt when dissolved in excess of water? In second year, we have done practicals by potassium permanganate versus Morse salt. You know the formula of Morse salt. Morse salt is ammonium sulfate. First of all, FeSO for students. Iron sulfate, ammonium sulfate plus 5H2. It means few water molecules are there. Right, students? This is the formula. So, ammonium sulfate. First of all, iron sulfate classified into iron plus 2 and sulfate minus 2. 2 ions. Ammonium sulfate again divided into 2 ammonium ions and 1 sulfate ion. Getting, students? 1 Fe plus 2, 1 sulfate ion, 2 ammonium ions and H4 plus ions, and 1 SO4 minus 2 ion divided into ions. In water, H2O will not be divided. Hence 1 plus 2 plus 1, totally how many? So it is 1 ion, it is also 1 ion, it is, these are 2 ions, it is 1 ion. Totally how many ions? 5 ions. So answer B correct, students. Question number 29. 0.3 grams of organic compound contains carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. On combustion gives 0.44 grams of carbon dioxide, 1.8 grams of water. Its molecular weight is 60 grams. And what is its molecular formula? In such cases, we should know the percentage of carbon, percentage of hydrogen and percentage of oxygen. After that, percentage by atomic mass, atomic mass, atomic mass. You will get moles. And those all moles will be divided by the simplified mole. Then you will get a simplest ratio. To know that simplest ratio, first of all, we should know the percentage of carbon. How to get the percentage of carbon? Percentage of carbon is equal to 12 by 44 into weight of CO2 by weight of organic compound into 100. Getting, students? Formula it is. So 12 by 44 into weight of carbon dioxide given is 0.44 by weight of organic compound is 0.30 into 100. Once you solve it, you will get the percentage of carbon, that is 40%. Percentage of carbon. Get it? Next, percentage of hydrogen is equal to formula 2 by 12 grams into 2 by 18. 18 is the mass of which one? That is water. 2 hydrogens in water. Here 12 carbon, mass 12, 44 carbon dioxide mass into, so here weight of water given in the question by weight of organic compound into 100. Following all of you? Yes. 2 by 18 into weight of water given is 0.18 by weight of organic compound 0.30 into 100. If you solve, you will get the value will be 6.6. 6.6. Right? Percentage. It is percentage of hydrogen. Percentage of carbon is 40, percentage of hydrogen is 6.6. Then we want percentage of oxygen also. When you added these two, these are not equal to 100. It means something percentage of oxygen also available in our mixture. Then add these two and subtract from 100. That is belongs to oxygen. 40 plus 6.6, 46.6, the rest percentage is oxygen. Now, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Carbon is 40 percentage, it is 6.6 percentage. 100 minus 46.6, that is equal to 53.4. Getting, students? Yes. Divided by their atomic mass, 12 grams of carbon, 6.6 by 1, 53.4 by 16 grams. Once you solve this, 40 by 12, so you'll get around 3.33. This here it is 6.66, here it is 3.33. Among these three, the smaller is 3.33. Divide all the moles with the smaller one. 3.33 by 3.33, 6.66 by 3.33, then 3.33 by 3.33. Getting, students? Right. So if you solve, you will get 1. And here how many? 2. You will get 2 here. Next, here also how much you will get? 1. 1, 2, 1. Carbons 1, hydrogens 2, and this will be 1. Formula will be, empirical formula is finally, that is equal to C1H2O1. It is the empirical formula, students. The question not yet completed. We want molecular formula. I am solving here, students. There is no space, that's why. So here I am solving. You follow. Yes. Continuation, students. Continuation here. Right. Then molecular formula is equal to empirical formula into N, where N is equal to molecular mass by empirical formula mass. Empirical formula will be CH2, carbon 12 plus 2 hydrogens 2 plus oxygen 16. Totally. So 1430 it is. Empirical formula mass is 30 grams. Empirical formula mass is 30 grams. Molecular mass given in the question is 60 it is. Right? 60 by molecule. Empirical formula mass is 30. That is equal to 2. Then substitute here. Molecular formula is equal to empirical formula CH2O into N is equal to 2. Right? Then you will get C2H4O2 is the right answer. C2H4O2. Option D correct. Option D correct. Right, students? Next. Students, with this, bits from basic concepts of chemistry were completed in assignment number 1. I gave 1 to 30 bits belong to basic concepts of chemistry. Among these 30, I have discussed a few bits. Remaining you try from 1 to 30. In this assignment, 30 to 60 bits belong to structure of atom. Tomorrow I will discuss concepts and few bits from 30 to 60. Okay, so we'll continue in the next class.